And there
We're
it is.
live. There we are.
There it
Hello,
is.
Brian and Bill with Energy Rogue. Welcome to just a quick update. Brian, roll the credits.
So aren't the credits supposed to come at the end?
No, they come at the front. Now, like when I'm in a movie and I see the credits at the end, I like to sit there and say, "Oh, look, Frank! I didn't know he worked on this film." Makes people think I know what I'm talking about.
You can have lots of Franks and lots of. We actually went to go see Avatar: Way of the Water yesterday, and my daughter commented that all of the people there got full-time income from that movie. And
wow.
And I was like amazed because it's just
she is your daughter.
Yes, she is.
You can't deny that.
Yes, she is. So what's on your mind today, Bill? What do you want to talk about today?
I tell you what, today I feel like a big man.
You do?
Yeah, because I heard it takes a big man to admit he's wrong. And I'm telling you what, I missed it on this natural gas. I thought it was going up. Here we are down in the 450s today, and I think the fundamentals are still strong, but you couldn't prove it by the price. Now, I realize that a lot of this price trading is done on very small volume, and we got what we refer to as the B team in on the
back in there at once and sell.
No, we've done enough selling. We need buy. So today I'm feeling like a big man.
You know what? Actually, both you and I have the opinion, and it's going to have to play out, but this is our opinion.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
So we have very good reason to feel that way, despite natural gas coming down, which is going to be kind of a seasonal thing, and seasonal meaning it is winter, so it's time for the price to go down.
And really it's the 7th day of winter, so we're not really into winter yet. So we should see. I mean, we're going to see it happen. It's just not happening in the week that I thought it was going to happen. I thought this was going to be the big week for crude oil and natural gas. I had every reason to be right, but turned out to be wrong. It happens.
Listen,
man.
It definitely happens. And the fact of the matter is that what we're saying, we actually advised a lot of our clients that this winter was going to bring extreme volatility. And that meant both directions.
Right, exactly.
Essentially, before the winter, we tried to communicate with all our Rogue Edge members.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelt now.
That's
exactly.
What we were expecting. And so, you know, when we take a look at this, I'm just going to go ahead and talk a little bit about this. Again, this is on Rogue Edge. If you haven't signed up, sign up today. You get a weekly video that Bill and I will kind of walk through the markets and what has happened and where we're going. Not necessarily where we are, but where we're going, because there's a lot of data out there and there's a lot of opinions. But what we base our opinions on facts, figures, fundamentals, and we do look at technicals. So we look at technicals in the market, and there are reasons that we expect technicals to be bouncing back up. Don't
forget that magic 8 ball we have.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually developing one. I'm developing one that we can use. So, you know, a computer magic 8 ball, not a physical one.
Oh, okay.
But anyhow, one of the comments that Bill had this morning, when we look at the $4 handle, pretty much from 2023 to 2027, is in the $4 range, and we think that's way too low. And when we look at what has happened today, you know, there are opinions that 450 was a technical target. I think we're going to have to break this down pattern, but if you notice, we've traded down on low volatility, or low volume, not volume, volatility, but volume. And one of the factors that we're taking a look at is a slower moving factor. And when we take a look at the slower moving factors, what we're looking at is current natural gas production has dipped back below 100 BCF a day. This is a weekly number. And a lot of that is because of weather-related events, but you can take a look at natural gas demand. Power and industrial is up. LNG exports are almost back to levels that were pre-Freeport going down. Almost, not quite. That means all the LNG facilities are delivering as much as they can, and that means an additional 2 BCF is going to be coming here, because something that a lot of people don't realize is while we've been watching Freeport, Calcasieu has been adding, 250,000 a day, 250,000 a day. And guess what? A BCF just kind of snuck up on us.
Right.
So half of Freeport going down has already been replaced, which means we're going to have an additional 2 BCF coming once Freeport comes back online. And when we look at natural gas storage, we're slightly above the 5-year average, 0.7. We're 0.7 above the 5-year average. And Bill, what's your thoughts?
Well, I think on that storage, you have to take it a fact that it still includes 2020.
Yeah.
And we need to sort of take that with a grain of salt, that maybe being this high is actually a lot higher than we think it is.
Well, you know what's cool about Rogue Edge, Bill?
What's cool about Rogue Edge?
You know what's really cool about it? I don't know if, this is a little revolutionary, but you can interact with these charts. And when you talk about 2020, you can actually zero in on this. You can click on this button and download it and send it to anybody you want. You can drop it in a presentation, but you can look. We did set new 5-year highs. We are on the high side. Let's see, December 11th, 18th. Yeah, we were drawing down a little bit more in 2020. And I can't remember what the weather was like in 2020, but I can't remember last week either.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
so
it was the same.
But that's why we designed these charts, so that you can actually go back in time and you can see in 2016 where we were, 2018, 2019. Look how steep these drawdowns are. And it doesn't take much. When you take a look at 2020, we went from the peak and we dropped down pretty close down to the bottom.
Let's go back to those demand figures that you have.
Let's see.
Right there. Yeah, right there. Where you're at.
This one?
On up.
This one?
Text. You're going down. I said up.
This one?
Nope. To the text.
Oh, the text. Okay. Yeah. All right.
So let's do the numbers again. What's the total demand?
Total demand is 137 BCF a day.
What's our total production?
Total supply, which includes imports, 105, almost 106.
So we've got an implied 27, really 28 BCF a day. Is that a day?
Yes.
Or is that weekly? A day.
That's BCF a day.
Right. So it doesn't take long to draw down.
Right.
When you're net low like that.
Yeah, here's the thing is that implied storage, we're going to see this next week. I don't know what the storage expectations are, but I would expect 110 BCF a day just based off this math. Again, this is part of the reason that we designed Rogue Edge, so that you can take a look and quickly. I came up with 110 just based on that number. So you can lose hours looking for what's going to be the storage runs, or you can just look at this number and that's a guesstimate. It's a guesstimate, but let's see on Thursday how close we are.
But the idea, it's based on data. It's not a pure guesstimate. It's based on data.
Right. There's a lot of subjectivity out in the market where people say it's going to go up. It's going to go. We're data based. We focus on data, and that's why we have these interactive charts that you can look and take a look at, because one of the things we were talking about is electric. We were talking about electric consumption, right? And one of the interesting things, let me clear this up just a tad, is we were taking a look again, this is negative because it's a consumption. This chart back from 2000 just shows consistent growth. And when you look at the peaks in the peak demand periods, we're around 22 BCF a day. We're now at 45 BCF a day. That's for the peaks. Let's look at the troughs.
Right.
The troughs 24 to 10. So 24 to 10. So we've grown by 14 BCF a day in the troughs, or in the low electricity demand periods, and by over 20 BCF a day, probably averages 20 BCF a day over the last 20 years. And when we take a look at the last 20 years, or where we are right now, a lot of people are focused on renewables. Renewables are important, but we have to remember that our conversation is not fossil fuels or renewables. It's how do they integrate together? Because when we take a look at this chart, this green area is natural gas usage, okay? And the red area is nuclear. And the blue area is coal. And when you combine all three of those, which are derived from fossil fuels or non-renewable sources, because a lot of people look at nuclear as renewable. It takes uranium, and uranium is a finite resource that you have to mine for. And a lot of it is in Canada and Australia. So when you take a look at all three of those, they combine for probably 80 some odd percent. What do you think that is, Bill?
It runs between 81 to 87%.
Yep. And when we take a look at this, you can start to see that, again, this is showing data up to December 26th. It's December 28th. Sign up for Rogue Edge. You're going to have access to this. And this will enable you to dissect and take a look at natural gas and what the megawatt hours that, I'm sorry, that was coal. Coal and natural gas. You could take a look at all three of these and how they stack up. And you're up around 10 gigawatts. And then you pump these up for all the other, and you get up to, what is that, 12. So 10 out of 12. And FYI, something new that I learned in some of the reporting, you know what's considered a renewable, a renewable source of electricity?
Oh, biosource?
Wood.
Yeah, biosource. Yeah.
So,
well, you can grow trees.
I don't think of that as renewable, and I think that harms the environment just because of the smoke that comes off there.
Well, don't worry, because we're putting out enough CO2 that we're reforesting a lot of the earth. So, yeah, never mind.
Yeah. So anyhow, I think that's all I wanted to cover from a technical side of the equation. I expect 450 to be, kind of a pausing point here. There is limited volume coming in. I expect more buying to come back probably next week because these are the B team traders. And I would expect probably a run up to the mid fives. Could be wrong. Have been wrong before, but right now.
They're sitting there and they panicking. They're screaming, sell, sell.
and typically when we hear that, after years of being on the trading side, Bill and I get to feeling like it's about time to buy.
Yeah.
So, but when we take a look at 10 to 15 BCF a day of LNG exports coming, Freeport coming back online, electricity demand growing consistently over the last 20 years, we're not declining, and that means that we have a higher demand factor, right?
And the deal is the more we use electricity, we've been averaging a 3% growth, but 3% of 20 years ago and 3% of now is a much bigger number.
Yep. And for anybody traders out there, we're not financial advisors. We express our opinion. We base our feelings and sentiments on the market based upon data. And if you want to come learn a little bit more about Rogue Edge, you can email us at rogue@energyrogue.com. You can direct message myself, Brian Pieri, Bill Shanahan. Bill, are you that way?
I'm
Or
that
this
way. No, the other way. There we go.
This
At
way?
least
Okay.
on my screen, I am.
I mean, yeah, you know.
I don't know if I'm looking in the mirror or not. So whenever I see
So-
myself, I think I'm looking in the mirror.
So essentially what our bias is definitely bullish. We were bullish 75 cents up from here,
Right.
and we remain bullish. And obviously
I'm just trying to be bullish instead of bullheaded. So that's what we're trying to go with.
right. So that's
All right, folks. I think that's what we have. Brian, I think we given them 15 minutes. And so let's
yeah.
get out of here. You guys get a hold of us. We'd be more than happy to talk to you. We can do this all day long, believe me.
Yeah, and this is what happens when we plan a 5-minute video. So
Right.
apologies for running a little long, and we hope you have a fantastic day. Reach out to us if we can do anything for you. So thanks so much.